song is called Death, God and the Universe. The drinker's mind is always running, that's why he drinks. He's too lazy or cannot find anything else to occupy him. He turns to drink as a way to stimulate his mind. Where would he go otherwise sober? Read a book or an article that interests him. And drink he will be, debate loudly with his friend the issues of the day. And what he says may be quite true, and the points he makes may be quite informed and valid until he becomes too intoxicated to understand what he is saying, or becomes unable to balance his weight on his own 2 feet. The drinker's will is weak, he succumbs to the gravity of his situation and surrenders to the will of his poison, readily accepting his fate. Fighting is not in his nature, especially against such a charming and seemingly generous opponent. By now opposition seems unimportant. The web has been spun, the trap is set. Like a moth hovering above an open fire, he feels safe and warm, captivated, drawn closer to his doom. The drinker's heart is always strong, he feels tremendous love for all living things. He loves the very matter that is the universe. His heart is open and fair, he holds that honesty and truth is second only to love. And he knows love from which he came, from which he was made. And he knows its value, but to know is not to love. He finds it easier to see a buttercup in a distant field of dandelions than it is to see his hand in front of his face, and in turn he finds it harder to love the ones that utmost love him most than it is to love a stranger he barely knows. And the drinker's body is falling apart, his trembling hand cradles his worried head, in which he keeps the desires of his redundancy could never fulfill. His swollen gut deters his fancy, and his telling face can never lie. Telling the story like an open book, his youthful eros crushed his painful impotent arm. He cannot decide what is worse, the desire or the problem. And yet he doesn't understand why she turns her face. He feels alone and his ignorance finds anger. He's rocked by the thundering beat of his heart that turns to jump out of his chest. And the sweat that pours down from his brow keeps him cold at night. Oh, the drinker's soul is boundless and free, everlasting, burns hotter than the sun, never sleeps and it will never die. It can build cities and tear them down. It's maverick and internally optimistic. Yeah.